me.
Hey,
I like
hey.
to
We
see it
are
in raw.
live now. We are live. And I just want to make sure that we can hear ourselves. It's not even showing it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm sure they can hear us because the speakers work.
Oh yeah.
And
Ready to get the show on the road? Here we go, y'all. Welcome to the karaoke edition of the Shut Up and Ride Show. Three's the crowd. Got the lovely Miss Cynthia here to my left. Chantel's running her business. You know, she'll be in and out with us as she serve her wonderful customers and just that delicious food. No, Charlie decided he's gonna keep it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah. You know, Charlie, man.
Charlie, European giver.
Yeah, he got that fracture on his ankle. He realized he had a fractured ankle, so they got him in a boot.
He said it was so nasty.
Yeah.
And now he's gonna keep it.
Right. That's because he pulled your. Shut Up and Ride Show on YouTube off the Chantel Williams and Cindy Fenty channels. You know, we're about to get this started. But yeah. So if you guys, I'm gonna give you the different styles in case some of you need to ask or make an opinion on when we get to it. You got your permissive parenting. That's a lenient, few rules, nurturing, but sometimes lacking discipline. You know, you got your gentle, conscious parents. You know, those focus on emotional intelligence, respect, and open communication. You know, it's important also for your child to be able to communicate, express himself, and conflict resolution comes from that as well. You know, like I say, then you got your helicopter parenting. They're highly involved, sometimes to control, over control. You know, but in today's society, man, you can't fault them for that, you know, because there's a lot of wickedness out there. You sometimes got to hook over a child, you know, especially that child ain't got that toughness, that mental toughness, that physical toughness, and that awareness of what's going on in this world, you know. And you know, the modern influences on these parenting styles sometimes, you know, could be the technology and social media. Of course, that makes it a little difficult. You got the smartphones, games, TikToks, you know, all those influences that liable to come across on the child that they're by themselves navigating through this electronic age. You know, dual income households, work from home, you know, it's just so much, man. It's nothing is one sided in this world, never have been, never will be, you know. So that's what we own. You got your cultural diversity. Of course, you know, I was fortunate enough to.
This is what's making the noise.
Oh, but it's screaming. I was fortunate enough to be brought up in a diverse community. Even when we was on the west side of Chicago, we still had a little mixture there on our block at least, you know. And it's just great to be around different people. That way you learn about different folks learn about you, and hopefully it don't get so bad as you come along. You know, you got your mental health awareness, more focus on children's emotional well-being than in past generations. You know, because like a lot of kids just grew up under a strict thumb. You know, they get emotionally bruised sometimes when the parent talk to them. Some parents get too carried away, talk down to their child. You know, you really don't want to do that, man. That's not cool at all. You know, long-term impacts on children's relationships, careers, and self-esteem. It can affect all of that, especially the self-esteem. You don't want your child not having that confidence of, of, um, of doing what they want to do and taking that chance in life, afraid of getting ridiculed or hate or you know hurt or something of that effect. You know, so it's a fragile situation, man. Fragile situation. You know, the pressure of parenting fueled by social media, breaking generational cycles of parenting. You know, just because you was treated some way, if you didn't agree with it, then try to improve on what you do with your child. You know, and don't keep telling your child, well, you're not this, you're inadequate, and whatever. Even in their failures, especially in failures, encourage that child. You know, and there's definitely a difference between the geographics, the urban, suburban, and rural parenting environments. You know, it's it was definitely a difference back in the day. But nowadays, it all seems to filter over into each other, if you ask me. You know, because at one time people thought they were safe in the suburbs. You know what I mean? It was a little safe in the suburbs. I remember we first moved to the burbs. We moved out there, everybody had their doors open. We was like, wow, you know. But that changed over time. Now you go to that same, you know, that same place that we was living in, man. People damn, they got bars on their windows. You know what I mean? So times change, people change. You know, and we're gonna touch on all these things, and hopefully my co-hosts will be able to join me shortly. Oh, there go one right there. That big old smile, beautiful as could be.
Hey, y'all.
Said, do you want to give these folks some pointers on your thoughts on some of these subjects? I read through all the titles, you know, gave them some background on what could be talked about. And hopefully we get some questions so we can get some answers.
Oh, okay. So, wow, we got a lot to talk about there. Oh, what's back here? And going ring, ring, ring. I'm like, what is that noise? Feedback somewhere.
So you think it's the volume or it's just gonna be on it all there?
Well, you probably need to lower the volume. So, what can I say about this topic here? Ugh.
You being a
Okay,
modern
parent.
day mommy,
I
still got a high school junior, couple in college. You know, how's that affecting you?
well, they're not as clingy as they're just a different stage in their life. They're all upper teens, and I got one turning 20 soon. So it's a difference. I mean, my parenting style kind of changes
Right, as they get older.
as they get older. The difference in kid, one thing doesn't work for the other kid sometimes. So,
Right, right.
Sometimes one of them in particular need the if you don't hear, you will feel.
What is that?
In the Caribbean, they say if you don't hear what I'm saying, you're gonna feel it.
Right. You know, but a lot of folks used to say, if you can hunt, you can hear.
Right. But I don't have to do that with them. I don't have to smack them around.
Right. That's good. You definitely don't want to admit that on camera.
No. She's a monster. Listen, I grew up in the Caribbean.
Right.
I didn't get whooped though. I really didn't.
You just never made to go get a switch.
I think I got. What did I get smacked for? Being rude to my mom.
Oh, that'll get you smacked every time.
Yeah,
Back
and
in
it
the
wasn't
day.
even like
Rolled your eyes or something, smacked your lips.
it
and
was
she gave you a
something
smack for
that I
that.
did. Just not even thinking about it. And
Right. Something you thought was minor.
yeah,
Right.
oh, boy, that comes pretty fast.
Yeah, it does. Definitely
Like,
does.
what happened?
Right. Get it where you give it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You act out is where you get put out. But yeah.
For the most part, I'd say I love my babies,
Right.
and I see that I'm getting closer to having the empty nester syndrome.
Right. What
Yeah.
that feel like?
Well, I don't know what it feels like yet, but I know I can say I have an idea from seeing some friends go through it.
Right.
And
What you get from them?
one friend, she cried.
Yeah.
She actually cried.
Right.
And others, they'll just be a little bit more clingy, calling you a lot more. And
Right. But you know,
Ready
at
to go
some
out?
point,
Let's
the
go
phone
out.
calls are gonna be like a week or two apart. Then it's gonna grow into maybe a month apart. It's not that they're not thinking about you, they don't love you, just that they're not coming into their own lives, their own children, their own things to do. You know what I mean? And we all know how time flies, you know. Like I used to tell folks when they get hard on their child for doing something minor, you forget you at that age. You know, what were you doing at that age? You know, come on, man.
Under
Don't
the
be so
mango tree.
hypocritical. Right, don't be so hypocritical, you know?
under the mango tree, catching shade,
Right. Okay.
probably playing in mud.
right. Something that you know. Right, that's the one thing. Why you all dirty? See, you used to get dirty. You know,
Yes.
don't hop in the mud. Then you play in the mud, play
I
in the
used to get
rain,
dirty.
all that stuff. You know.
Make mud pie.
Right. Just don't eat them.
Right.
That's what you pretend. I don't know. They say in Mississippi they love that red clay in the South. That red clay dirt.
Red
You
clay
know?
dirt.
Yeah.
See, our dirt in Trinidad was dark, like maybe like more gray. Yeah.
It was more
So
brown.
it used to be. There was one time my brother pranked my sister with making like balls of clay, but making it look like goat poop. No, making it look like goat poop. And it was chasing her
Chasing them with it.
because the neighbor had a goat.
Right. Maybe she got some speed out of that.
Yeah. I think she might have hurt herself too. I
Yeah,
don't know.
running away.
It's like a memorable.
Wow.
But, you know,
So let's get to some of these topics. Tell me what you think about this authoritarian parenting thing they got out here. You know, labels on everything.
it's authoritarian,
No.
strict, high expectations, and limited flexibility.
What does that say to you?
I wouldn't say I'm a strict parent.
Right,
I'd say I'm stern.
right,
I mean, what I say what I mean. But strict would mean like, man, they can't do nothing much. Stay inside.
pretty much a latchkey kid, as we used to call
Yeah.
it, you know. Well, no, latchkey kids mean it was by
They
themselves
come
a
home
lot.
by
They had their own
themselves. Yeah.
kids, but you know, but I guess just being locked up, a lot of kids just couldn't do nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we knew about the latchkey kids in New York.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mom had to work,
Yeah.
and we get home from school. We got to cook and everything. I was the oldest.
Yeah. Yeah, that was becoming more prevalent in a single parent household as that became more and more a reality in this country throughout the 80s and 90s. You know.
Well, my stepdad, he was actually a hero.
Yeah.
He took in a woman with 5 kids,
Right.
and he had number 6 with her.
Right.
So,
Hey, that's a strong
can you
man,
imagine that household? Yeah,
you know.
he's definitely a hero. One of my heroes.
It takes a lot to step into that situation and to make it work, you know, at least for the time it needed to work, you know, at least until the kids come up, you know. So, you know, you program them and guide them and advise them. You know, you might not do everything right, you know, but you do everything from the heart.
It was,
that's
it was a
if you can.
challenge.
You know, yeah, it's always a challenge,
He
definitely.
didn't know what he was getting into.
Is that right?
Yes, and everyone talks loud in my house because we're from the Caribbean.
Right.
Like, that's how you're
Right.
supposed to talk. So, yeah, and teenagers, and we always had people in the house.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the basement, if not upstairs, in the basement was crowded.
Really.
A lot of teenagers and just talking loud, and we'd be up there late. If not in the basement, on the stoop.
Right.
But guess what? Our parents knew exactly where we were.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The neighbors' kids, they know they're down there by us.
Right.
So
Oh, so you was the fun house.
yeah, we were the fun house.
Got you.
Yes,
Got you.
we were all close in age.
Right.
So, yeah, but
That's
I'm
good.
definitely not strict.
Okay.
Because I didn't grow up in a strict environment. No.
The authoritative parenting style, what do you think about that? I know they sound awfully close, you know, but yeah, they're definitely different meanings.
More structure,
Right. A little
rules.
more balance, you know, but at the same time, a little more emotional support.
You need authoritative.
Yeah.
You need authoritative.
Yeah. It balances things out. You know?
It does.
And it's, you know, like I say, it also encourages, which if you're more of authoritative, it's going to lead into that, it's going to lead down here into the free range parenting, you know. Gotcha.
Encourages independence and
Right.
self-reliance.
Right. And that's very important.
That is
man.
super
You know,
important.
so I know they carried me throughout life, you know, because, you know, it's hard to shake me.
Yeah, tell my kids, look,
It's hard to shake me.
you better get your butt up and do what you gotta
Right. You feel strong and feel confident about what you do,
do.
you know, and don't have an issue when people are trying to correct you and trying to get you to see things in a better way. You know, because if you're not willing to learn, then chances are you're not going to go too far, too fast, if at all, you know, because we don't know everything.
Can't be
That's
smart
for
as
sure.
well.
Right, right.
And I have one who just he
Right.
just think
Yeah,
he is smart. He is really, you know which one I'm
right,
talking about.
right. Yeah, yeah.
He is brilliant,
That middle one, huh?
but he's very cocky.
That's
And-
self-confidence. That's not cockiness, you know.
I had to tell him
That's
today.
self-assurance,
He
you know.
answered me away today. I said, "You try that again, your Adam's apple will be in your toe." I love
You
you.
gonna give him that old chop. Don't make me chop you, boy.
That sounds real graphic.
No, that's fact. That's everybody experiences that. You know, don't get too flip at the lip.
Yeah, just be like,
You know.
try it again. Try that at home. Oh,
Right.
you are home.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, I don't have to use aggression or
Right.
anything.
Right.
They know there's a thin line between mommy and
Right.
crazy. Yeah, I don't play. I don't play. When it's time to get serious, I'm serious.
Right,
That's it. I'm not strict. I like to say I'm stern.
right.
Speak to them just like how their boss is gonna speak to them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he likes to shoot.
Shoots. What's that?
That
Oh, you talking
yes,
that one app.
suck your teeth.
Oh,
So-
you talking? Oh, that's. I thought you were talking about that apps.
No.
Swoops, whatever they call it.
In my country, when you do that, it
Uh-huh.
means it has a meaning.
Really?
It means kiss my ass.
Is that right?
In my country, that's
Oh
what it
wow. Yeah, when you
So-
do that, you definitely gonna get a beat down.
means. Yeah. And I told him, I said, you need to break that out
Right.
because
Check that player.
you're gonna be doing it in places that you don't even know when you're doing it, and
Right.
you get your ass fired.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
because your boss ain't gonna take that
Because your
easily.
boss is from what is it? Trinidad? You from?
If he's from the Caribbean, he'll probably know what it means.
Right.
Because I think in most Caribbean countries I know, it's
Same.
rude as hell
Yeah.
to do it.
Suck your teeth.
Yes, are you
Yeah.
kidding me? Especially from a kid.
Right.
You mean,
That's kind of like. Psst,
you just turned
No.
18, but still I'm like, come on, bring it.
Right. 1881. Always respect your
Yeah,
parents.
like, you
know?
have to.
I remember when me, my grandma, my Uncle George was a reverend. We was driving to Buffalo from Chicago to my auntie's funeral. And like I said, my granny mother probably was 91. I think my Aunt Irma passed in 91. And we're driving,
Sorry.
we're riding. And first mistake I made was when I took my shirt off, I had on what we call a tank top, what people call nowadays a dago. My granny smacked me on my back. Pow! Boy, put your shirt back on. We don't be out here half naked.
When you say a tank top,
Uh,
like a white beater?
the white beater. We had to have. We couldn't walk around the house shirtless. We just couldn't. And so my Uncle George, he wanted to put in one of his sermons or something. You know what I mean? Like I said, Granny 90-something, so Uncle George about 70-something. So Granny told him, say, George, I don't want to hear that all the way to Buffalo. We're going to be in this car for 10 hours. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to hear that. He just said 2 words, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No matter how old you get, always respect your parents. Always respect your parents. Yeah. I'll never forget that ride. That was the longest ride of my life. But hey, I miss them. I miss my people, my elders, my parents, grandma, my granddaddy. Yeah. But
So, technology has definitely affected parenting these days,
I was curious.
right?
makes it harder to keep up with your child because they're doing a lot of things in private now that you probably go overhear. They're having conversations you would normally overhear. Now you don't overhear unless you're checking their thing. Now you got to read it,
Yeah.
follow up on it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I'm listening. Permissive parent.
That's not
Fear.
true. I didn't know where we were going. We were coming.
Am I a permissive parent?
We always
What is
come
the
home.
definition
No.
of permissive
Is that like
parent?
with the daughter jumping out the window and leaving for the night and she just don't care?
Right.
Right.
Just sneaking
Nah,
out.
that ain't-
you know.
That ain't
All
it.
right, let me know where we're going.
When it's 10 o'clock, I know where my children are.
Yeah.
Right. It used to be a commercial about that back in the day. It's 10 o'clock. You know where
You know
your
where your
children
children are.
are. You
It's
know.
over there. And I said, well, what's the name?
Uninvolved and neglectful parents. Low demand.
You gotta learn to know what I am, just go.
Well, I did.
I knew it was gonna say.
I did. That's kind of what I did.
But yeah, it's a lot of
Gentle.
gentle parenting. What it says, gentle parenting,
Focused on
emotional
emotional intelligence, respect,
Okay,
communication.
I think that's important. Because that teach them how to open up dialogue, which chances are they have more conflict solution skills.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can encourage other people to be the same sometimes. But yeah, that's kind of
The ability to communicate
right.
is so
You gotta be able
important.
to communicate. If you can't communicate verbally, you're gonna have to communicate physically. And a lot of times it's unnecessary. A lot of conflicts and fisticuffs can be avoided if people just go out and talk to each other.
Also,
You
not
know, versus complaints without getting physical.
Right.
I feel like because I teach them both ways.
Right.
Community is rude to you outside of
It's like
these
saying,
walls.
Right.
How do you deal with it? Like, what do you say to them?
Yeah, it all depends on who. To me, it all depends on who it is and how rude it is. Like, let's take for example, I had to get some blood drawn the other day. I go, the young lady couldn't. She hit me with both arms, couldn't get the blood, so she told me to come back tomorrow at my leisure. You know, I'm like, okay. So I spent the evening drinking a ton of water, morning drinking water. I go up there at about 11:15, something like that. You know, first thing the chick don't say when I ask her how she doing, was like, well, I wish you'd have came earlier. I said, well, you should have asked me to. I said, you asked me yesterday to come at on my time. You know, I said, well, you came at 9:30 yesterday. I said, well, that's because we had an appointment. You know, if you'd have set that as an appointment again, I'd have been here again at 9:30. You know, but you said come on my time. So the bride copped such an attitude, I ended up cussing her out. And then I
Did you say the F word, John?
You know I did. And and a half hour later, I got me a new appointment with a new primary physician. I don't have to take that crap. You know, you're in a position of service. You know, you don't come to me with no attitude. You know
You're the
what I mean?
customer.
Right. And she gonna tell me, well, you can go to the blah blah blah. I say, you know what? I am gonna go somewhere else. I won't be back here. You know, them folks called me 2 times this morning. I didn't even answer the phone.
I'm sure she got written
You know,
up.
she should have been fired because I'm not the only one. You know, because there was an older lady, big, because there was an older lady sitting, when I was sitting there waiting to go in the first time, this old lady come up complaining about how they didn't send off her referral. I've had that trouble with them several times. You know, so when we get in the back, I said, well, maybe she didn't have to be so rude, but I understand where she's coming from. I've had the same trouble with you guys. You know me. I'm gonna speak my mind and I'm gonna speak the truth. You know. So yeah, and
Say
so I
what you
believe
mean
that
and
they
mean
took,
what you say.
exactly. So I believe she might have took exception to that. That's why she copped the attitude the next day. But sweetheart, I'm not him. I'm not him because, like I said, if you're rude to me, that's my game. I never started, but I love getting involved with it. You know, I think I can be the rudest individual you ever want to meet. You know, you ain't got to be scared of me at all, especially you.
I ain't never scared.
Never scared. You know what I mean? That's right. Never scared. But yeah, now it's just that when you go to be rude to a person, you gotta expect before you come back to you. You know, that's why you try to approach people with kindness, with respect, with consideration, especially you're in a position of service. You know, especially in the medical field. You know, these people already got issues. They don't need to come
They're
in here and
supposed to
get
have
your problems.
a servant's
You know?
heart.
Right. And if you can't do that, keep your tail at home. You know? Stay at home, or at least stay out that front window until you get yourself together. You know? Yeah, you know, because she was also the receptionist.
Receptionist.
Right.
So
You know, she was a receptionist
That
and a
sounds-
phlebotomist in the doctor's office.
it sounds like
You
they're
know?
low staff. Is that
Whatever.
what it sounds like?
Whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Don't bring
But,
your attitude
okay.
to me.
So, Fat, if she's probably one of the best phlebotomists,
She couldn't have been. She couldn't draw
because she
blood out
couldn't
with
get
2
it
arms.
from you.
And she didn't have the confidence. That's what it was. She didn't have the confidence
Maybe
to go
she
back
was just
in.
scared of such a,
And, you
strapping
know,
man.
You know, I
manly
didn't
man.
flinch. I didn't get upset with her the other day when she couldn't get it out of either arm. You know, I tried to. I'm like, that's okay, dear. It happens all the time. There's a lot of nurses that have to go get their supervisor.
So you gave her some grace.
Right, you know. So I come back the next day. She full of attitude. No, sweetheart, I'm not him.
Oh.
I'm not him. You know.
So,
like
okay.
we used to say in
all right.
Chicago, wrong hole. You know?
So talking
You know
about
what I mean?
communication,
Right.
the way you handled that, let me see how I would have handled it. Jeez. Might have been like, excuse me, why are you speaking to me like that? Like that.
Yeah, that's the first thing I
Excuse
asked her. I'm
why are you
"Yeah,
speaking to me
attitude?
like that?"
Why is that? You know? Well, it's just you can, you know, you could go to the lab or something.
You don't seem like you're having a good day. And
Right. No, I ain't got
because
time
of
for all
that,
that.
can you find another nurse, please?
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
John, I ain't cussing what the.
And the office, yeah, that's you. And the office manager and some other lady right outside. I mean, I gave her nothing but pleasantries. Even when she gave that smart remark when I first walked in about my timing, I was still cool. Walking back, I asked her, "How you doing?" Still trying to be cool. But as soon as I sat in that chair, when I realized this chick is just going to think she can get flipped with me all throughout this visit, let me go and check this real quick. When I
Do you
checked
think
her,
it took off some of your frustration from?
I,
Did anybody transfer?
I
Did
never do
anyone
that.
transfer energy on you? Like,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, that didn't deserve it.
I'm trying to understand, like, what, like, the course of your day.
It was in
That
the
you
morning.
just, like, your
11 in the
first
morning.
instinct
I
was
didn't
to
get
be
up
like-
until 9:30. I got up 9:30, made me a nice little breakfast,
Okay.
got ready, went on. I even took my common route that I would normally do if I'm coming to downtown Sanford. I go past the lake,
Uh-huh.
and I am about water.
Yes,
You know what I
yes.
mean? So I'm cool. As peaceful as can be.
Hmm.
You know?
You were listening to music?
Yeah. Matter of fact, it was a jazz station I was listening to. I'm listening to jazz.
All right. So we'd
So it
like
ain't
to
like
say
no
that
lyrics was affecting
you
me
were
or nothing,
you were fed.
Right.
You were driving in on cool music, and you
Right.
came in there with a positive attitude.
Yes, indeed.
Wait,
Yes,
are you
indeed.
sure you didn't bring yesterday's energy back?
What was yesterday's energy? Like I said, I wasn't upset when she had poked me twice and couldn't get that blood.
The
I
day
wasn't
before.
upset. Right, the day
You were not.
before. I wouldn't
Okay.
didn't have no attitude. Well, like we'll get
You
it in
came
the
and you
morning.
gave her another chance,
Right.
and she still
You
couldn't.
know, she didn't have the confidence, I think, and she couldn't admit that. All she had to do was say, "Mr. McKay, I'm sorry, but I really don't want to stick you anymore. Can you, say, do you mind going to the lab?" That's how she should have came at me, talking about how I should have came at her. You're the professional, you're the medical, you know what I'm saying, staff. Why do I gotta pacify you? You know what I'm saying? Especially in my situation, I could have woke up grumpy. I may have got this heart condition. I gotta swallow 10 pills in the morning. You know what I mean? I could come
She
up
could
with
be stressing you out.
right.
Just,
I could come up with
just
a lot of
poking.
bullshit reasons for having an attitude, but I don't. Because I know, hey, I'd rather swallow these pills than to be swallowing dirt. You know what I mean? I'm always trying to look at the other side of the coin, But one side I don't look at is disrespect. You know what I mean? I'm not going to tolerate it. I never have and never will. That's just me. I don't tolerate disrespect at all, especially when I'm spending my coins or providing your place with coins. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So no, man, treat me right or you gonna get mistreated. Plain and simple. You know. And I know you and Chantel be like, "John, don't say this, John. You shouldn't have done that." Blah
No.
blah blah blah. And most women, especially most of my friends, they all say the same thing. Sometimes you can be a little too abrasive. And I don't think so. I'm just giving you what you
So
got.
your friends tell you that too.
I've been hearing it all
John,
my life.
But
I've
John,
been hearing it forever.
you don't think like you should like think about that?
I do. And I try to be cool. But like I say, it wasn't like she said one thing and I snapped off right away. Like I said, it was an ongoing issue.
So you think
to where
she
thought
had-
that she could talk to me any kind of way.
Maybe she had a bad morning.
Yeah, well, whatever it is, that's not my. That's all that is personal problems.
Well, it might not be an easy thing to be wearing two hats on a job or many. Who knows if she got a clean
She don't need that spot. What I'm saying? I know she wasn't new to it because I've been going there for at least a year. You're not new to this.
So she think maybe because she knew you for a year at least.
Man, that should have made them respect me more, especially with some of the
She felt-
conversations I've had about some of my complaints about not getting the same thing that this old lady was in there complaining about. You guys are lacking on your referrals, on your response, on sending them out. Even at the Mayo Clinic, they were like, "Well, we blah 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 this and that," and one was Orlando Health because one of the nurses, like, "Well, John," I say, "Hold on. Don't say a word. I'm gonna call them and I'm gonna tell you. You're gonna hear what they keep telling me." So I called them. The lady was on the other line, and she was like, the chick started trying to give me that spiel about how they didn't get it, how I wasn't sent this and that. And then the nurse come on. She said, "Excuse me, ma'am. This is so and so. You know what I'm saying? I've sent that over to you 3 times. My fax is saying it's been completed and received. So why aren't you guys receiving it?" Then she went to say something else. I'm like, lady, you a lie. She went to try to put it on me. And I come straight out, you a lie. Flat out, you a lie. And I went to go in, but the nurse like, John, chill out. You know, don't lie on me, especially
Ready to
because
clap,
you're
like,
being the
yeah.
incompetent one. Yeah, you're
Want
the
the
incompetent
business?
one. Right.
Call me a
you
liar.
know?
I dare you. I dare you.
Hey, those are two fighting words back in the day. Guys had to do a draw for that. You know, get shot. Tell the sheriff he called me a liar. You know. Yeah. So hey, at least I didn't
That's
shoot
one
her.
thing. I'm allergic to liars.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy.
You know.
That's my side effect.
And I fortunately I have a habit of telling the unadulterated truth. You know, like I always said, I'm honest to a point. I'm honest to a flaw. You know what I mean? Even though it might put me, you know, it might stop me from getting what I want, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. You know, it's one thing you never got to worry about me lying to you, being deceptive and all that crap. Because I mean, one thing about lies, you got to try to remember. You know,
Cover it up with more lies.
right. You know, if you
Then
tell the truth,
when
you know
you
the
reach-
truth is the truth. You're gonna say the same crap 10, 15, 20 years from now if it's the truth, word for word.
But 4
You know.
days later, you don't even know what the truth
Yeah,
is.
yeah. You know, if you're a blatant liar, you know it's hard to remember lies. You know, you might be able to repeat that lie, but you're gonna add something to it or take something from it because it's not the truth. You know, so don't raise a liar. What we got?
Well, challenges parents face today.
Oh, man,
Keeping-
so many.
Keeping kids safe while still allowing independence.
Yeah,
We just talked about that.
yeah, that's hard. It's hard.
My daughter,
Right,
first
like
day
you
of school,
said, right. She on the bus stop, you know, in the dark by herself, you know.
she got to be out there at 6:30 to
Right.
catch the bus. But the positive thing is that sun comes up a little earlier. So,
Do she
right
have some
now.
type of equalizer? Yeah. Something that'll at least help her do something to get away. Like if someone come to try to grab her or fight her, she'll have like a little box cutter or something. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
she can't take
Slice
that
them,
to
a little
school.
mace or something like that.
You trying to get the child?
People don't have to know. People
John,
don't have to know.
this,
Trust me.
did
Like
you
I
hear
said,
this?
I gave my
Chicago
stepdaughter.
influence.
I gave
John.
my stepdaughter a box cutter her
No,
freshman year.
no. Listen,
Yes, I
she
did
would get
because
suspended in
these girls.
high school.
Listen, these girls jumped her,
Jump.
and she
Don't
said
listen to
one girl tried to hit her with a padlock. I'm like, oh, they out here fighting
John.
like that, and we was in the birds.
Don't listen
I'm like,
to
hey, they
John.
fight like that. I'm like, here, you take this. Trust me, they might not feel it right away, but once that slice opened up, they ain't gonna be thinking about nothing else.
Oh my God.
I gave that to my baby when she was a freshman.
All right, this
She
is the
didn't
end of the
lose
show.
that. She didn't lose that box cutter. She didn't lose it until she was about 24. She told me, I finally lost that box cutter. I'm like, you still had that box cutter I gave you your freshman year? She like, yeah.
She got a whistle.
Like, that's what I'm talking about. Nah,
She got a
whistle ain't gonna
whistle.
do.
Like,
You know,
it's not gonna
because
do
the first
anything,
thing
but-
someone gonna do is come and cover your mouth up so you don't scream. You know, if she
think I
got
might
that
start
box
her
cutter
dojo or
or
something.
if she got like a sharp pointed knitting needle or something that they can't say, well, this is a weapon, but something she forgot she had in her purse. Anything to give her
A
that
sharp
second.
pencil.
Anything that'll give her that second to get away.
A sharp
You
pencil.
You know,
Break
and when you do that, tell her don't drop it. You know, because I always tell her, say, if you drop it, it's liable to get
You
used
got
on
me
you.
sounding brutal.
You know, hey man, my baby came home safe every day. That was my goal. You know, that's the only thing I had to think about. This young lady
She said-
just come home safe.
She said, "Mom, you don't have to walk me to the bus stop.
Right.
I'm literally like literally there like 3 to 5 minutes.
Right.
I'm like, you don't understand. 3 to 5 minutes is a long time.
Too long. You know,
Yeah.
take 10
So-
seconds for the right person to come.
I'm
You
a little
know?
bit of a helicopter parent. I be peeking out the window, make sure
Right.
she get on the bus.
Oh, so you can see the bus stop from your window.
Yeah, again.
Oh, so you ain't gotta go with her.
It's like right down the street.
Just have your shotgun ready.
Well, I don't got the shotgun.
You
I
got a
got
rifle?
the shotgun. It's locked up.
Right?
But I got my pistol.
It don't make it that far. It's ineffective from a certain
But it'll
distance.
scare them.
Maybe.
But I shoot it.
These,
I'm automatically going downtown.
That's all right.
You know that?
That's all right.
If you shoot your weapon, you're going down.
That's okay.
They ask questions later.
Yeah, that's okay. That's how it's supposed to be. Somebody messing with your child, shoot first and ask questions later. You
Yeah,
know,
no,
you're trying to
that's-
abduct my
that's
child. You're
different.
trying
No,
to abduct
like,
my
that's
daughter,
different.
dude. You know, hey,
If I need to, I'm gonna do it.
definitely. That's why you got to give her that equalizer and tell her, don't tell nobody she got it. That's your secret. You know?
Well, I think I can figure out something else other than a box cutter. I think a pencil, a sharp pencil, just to, to keep it right there on the side.
Something to give her that second, because all she needs is that second for them to loosen that grip and run away. You know, but once somebody got a hold of that baby, chances are,
Well, she
You know,
shouldn't. I think she already knows not to let anyone get that close to her anyway.
right.
You see somebody slowing down,
sweetheart,
You go the other way. Don't even talk to
Do
them.
you think a lot of these people getting snatched up see these people coming? You know, like I said, a lot of women get snatched out of parking lots because it's a van parked next to them. You know what I mean? They ain't paying that van no attention. You know, they putting their bag in the car next to you. You know that door slide open, you gone, just like that. That's how it happens a lot. We got to be realistic
John,
about this here.
I don't want to wake up every morning and drive her to school now.
You don't
okay?
have to, because you can see her as long as you got eyes on her.
I do.
You know, okay then. I thought you had to walk her. You know what I'm saying? Like this one lady I was picking up when I was doing Uber down here. Little 5-6-year-old boy. You know what I mean? She left him at the bus stop. It was barely daylight. I'm like, you do that every morning? She like, I have no choice. You know? But he's okay. You know, I mean, the little boy looked confident. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully he grew up like I did, because when I was 6 or 7, I had something for you. You know what I'm saying? I was babysitting at 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
So, you know, I knew how to take care of myself and my little nieces and nephews, you know, in case something happened. You know, because like I said, I'm younger than 12, so my brothers and sisters, they going out partying. You know, my mama wasn't trying to hear that. She got enough kids at home. You know, my brother Rick, he stayed downstairs from us this one rip, you know, when I turned 8. And they'll just give me they'll give me like a shitload of quarters, which only be about $5, but I got 20 quarters, you know what I'm saying? So it looked
a lot of money back then.
Right, you know what I mean? They always paid me in quarters, you know, but it was cool because they left me with the kids, they left me with snacks, you know. Me and my niece Angie, we'll watch them together because she's my age, and we'll sit up there and turn on Creature Feature. You ever heard of Creature Feature? It was a scary show that came on. It was a scary show that came on. And it showed Frankenstein, Wolfman, and all of that stuff.
Maybe I probably see
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and even the intro itself was scary. You know what I mean? The intro to the show is
Creature Feature.
yeah, but that was us. You know, we like man. So yeah. You know,
I want to do something real quick.
what's
before-
that?
Like she just called in from college, couldn't get it. She called you over.
Yeah.
Get you.
So John needs some donations to help. He's gonna have a heart transplant. You want to tell them like what your scary part of it?
The scary part of this journey I've been on.
Yeah.
Lately, my ICD been going off, you know, and anybody that don't know what ICD is, it's a portable thing, you know, like when they had a pass and they tell you clear and they shock you, you know, I got that built inside me right now, you know, and implant defibrillated, along with the LVAD. So if I go to have a major heart attack, I don't feel it because the LVAD is pushing the blood, but the defibrillator detects it. You know, when I go in the A field, that's me, you know, and it gets you to try to get you back in rhythm, you know. But when I was in Chicago and it hit me 5 times before it got me back in the rhythm, you know. So that was a major heart attack. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And so, you know, I was like scared to shit. Scared to death. You know what I mean? For the next 2 weeks because I had to stay up there for my brother's funeral. You know, so all I could think about was, please don't shock me. Every little sensation, I'm saying, please don't shock me. Please don't shock me. You know, and I didn't really start feeling better until I crossed the state line coming back to Florida. You know, then I got somewhat of relief because if it hit me then, okay, I got to drive by Jacksonville. So that means I'm driving by the
you'll
Bell
just stop
Clinic, you know what I mean? Right, you know. But man, it's like PTSD, basically,
Yeah.
you know, and I still have it because 3 weeks later I'm at home, just, you know, doing like I was doing before, chilling, doing nothing stressful, nothing. Boom.
Is that what it feels like?
Yeah, I feel like you're getting punched in the back, but you feel it in your heart.
Wow.
You know, it's, you know, because it, you know what I mean? It
Mm.
happened 4 more times. So I got 9 shocks in 3 weeks. And it's just crazy, man. And it's spooky. And I don't care how tough you are, how confident you are, because I'm one of the most confident individuals I know. It's going to shake all of that. It's going to shake all of that to its core. You
Wow.
know? And if you ain't got a support group like I have, I understand why a lot of people give up, you know, because it makes it easy when you going through certain things. If you by yourself, I can't imagine that, you know, but that's why I appreciate the love and support from my people that I receive, you know, especially from Cindy.
Aw,
This
John.
beautiful flyer you got
You
made up,
know.
Cindy customized that herself.
Yeah, that's because he's from
Yeah.
Chicago.
You know, you
So
see
I
the
had to give him some
River
Chicago
background
love.
to it. You got some of the skyscrapers. That's an awesome picture.
You know, that's the train. The train is behind
I
you,
recognize
actually.
all of it.
Yeah.
That's Lake Street L. You know, it curves around into the loop, and when it's going back west, it's going through the center of the west side. You
Okay.
know what I mean? That's why when I was a kid, at 7, 8 years old, me and my brother Jerry, may he rest in peace, and our little buddies, it'd be about 8 of us between the age of 6 and 8.
Mm.
We walk to the train station, get on that L, go downtown, kick it downtown, go to the movies, walk about a quarter mile over to the lake. We hanging out, you know. And they used to have these boats, these little boats out there at the lake that people would get. Back then, a lot of things was free, you know. And we know we shouldn't have been on the boats by ourselves. A lot of times, no, we didn't go. Some of our friends, but at the time, me and Jerry didn't know how to swim. You know, so like I say, we was aware. That's why our parents gave us that freedom, because they know we weren't really going to do nothing to hurt ourselves or get ourselves in danger other than riding that train, you know. But yeah, but we had a lot of freedom, a lot of liberty as kids, you know what I mean? And they wasn't worried about us. Nowadays, man, these children getting snatched up left and right. You really can't have your child out there at 6, 7, 8 years old.
Florida is known for that.
Yeah.
And like I didn't know any of that stuff when I was living in Brooklyn.
Right.
Maybe I just didn't know.
Yeah.
We used to get flashed in the subway. Wearing the trench coat.
Right. Oh yeah. The Benny Hill type.
Yeah, he would be on the other side of the track where, you know, so there's north and south train, right?
Right.
So he would be on the side where everybody's coming home.
Uh-huh.
And he would just
Right.
things he had to deal with in Brooklyn. Okay, so what else we got here? Stories from, okay, so here, share stories from parents with different approaches. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story, and you probably try to tell me which approach that might have been.
Right.
My mom, I think I might have told this story a long time ago. You guys might have heard this story. My mom used to give us, living in the Caribbean, it was like 3 of us going to school,
Right.
and she would give us funds,
Right.
like every day or once a week or something like that. But we would always spend our money, my sister and I. My brother saves it.
Right.
My mother now, she left some change on her dresser. And she's like, somebody took my change. Who took my change?
Right.
I didn't do it. Natalie said, I didn't do it.
Right.
And then, I didn't do it, Mommy.
Right.
Then Natalie with a big mouth says, I saw him getting stuff at Miss Mary. Miss Mary sells snacks for the kids.
Candy store. Right.
Yeah. And she just said, all right, none of y'all gonna tell the truth.
Everybody get it.
So she took us to the gas stove. Don't try this at home, y'all. She took us over to the gas stove and she lit it.
Right.
And she took Nigel's hand. I don't know if she
Right.
did this because he was the boy
Right.
to toughen him up. I don't know.
Right.
But she had the 2 of us standing around her. And I think somebody was the baby. Might have been Neil. Yeah. And she took his hand and she put it over the stove like that. But it's like, it's not burning. It's like, no, mommy, no.
Right.
We're like screaming, no, don't do that, mom, no. And she goes, when I put thing on his stove, on my dresser, when I put thing down, nobody touch it. And she's like, pulling his head. Nobody touch it.
Right. Did anybody end up confessing?
And my aunt lived next door. And
Uh-huh.
she's like, Lynn, what are you doing to those children? Listen, me being the oldest, I remember that shit like it was freaking yesterday.
Hey,
Okay?
don't put your hands
That
on something that
was
ain't
a
yours, you
lesson
know?
because she knew wherever we went, if anybody said that her kids did it, took something, she know that shit ain't true.
Right. Yeah, that's how my mom was. She said, you walk into somebody's house and they got dollar bills all over their floor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ain't damn one of them dollars
It's
yours.
not yours. Don't pick
You
it
know,
up.
so leave them alone.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
So it's different if you ask, can I have one, please?
Yeah.
That's different. But still, you know,
Right.
wait till you offer. That matters.
Right. Yeah.
Don't look at people's stuff.
Don't pick up.
No, you don't pick up that.
And I gotta admit, as a kid, you know, I go into the stores and whatnot and steal this and that, but never had to worry about me taking something out somebody's home, off their person, or something like that. You know what I mean?
So what kind of approach you think that was?
That
Let's see.
was probably the first one, the authoritarian.
Authoritarian, strict
Yeah,
rules,
strict rules.
high expectations,
Yes.
limited flexibility.
Right.
So you gotta have like a
That's
balance
how it
of all
was,
of these
you know,
things.
I mean, in most foreign countries, some of them foreign countries out here, if you steal something, they chop your hand off.
Authoritative.
You know? You end
Not
up losing your
authoritative, not authoritarian.
hand. Oh,
Okay, authoritative, which is balance of structure, rules, and emotional support.
right. But what you was talking about, to me,
Was strict.
right. Strict, do as I say.
Well, you know what
saying?
though? I gotta give it up to my mom because my dad, he used to work on an oil rig,
Right.
and he would be home with us 1 week, and the next week he'll be on the rig.
Right.
So she had a lot. She was dealing with a lot with kids and being pregnant and all of that.
Right.
He's not there.
Yeah.
Thank
A lot of
God my aunt was
emotional
next
stress.
door.
Yeah, a lot of emotional stress. you
Yeah.
know?
That's why I know my aunt used to take me a lot. I
Yeah.
used to spend a long time next door. So,
Is this that same aunt you was telling me about that one story? Took you in the middle of the street or something like that?
oh no, not that one. That's she's not my aunt actually,
Oh,
but
no.
I call her auntie for respect.
Right.
But yeah, that was another thing. I got to deal with that.
Yeah, you haven't dealt with that
No, I
yet?
haven't dealt with it yet.
Let's talk about it. We ain't got to talk about it on camera, but you know, when you talk to me about it, you can
Yeah.
trust me with that.
Hmm?
You can trust me with that. I promise to dig
I
it out
mean,
and,
you know,
won't say anything unless you want me to. But sometimes it just takes to be able to express yourself and voice your disappointment and voice how it made you feel. You
it's
know what I
more
mean?
than that. I thought about it. It's more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, if I say something, it might affect relationships. And I don't know if certain people were involved
Right.
in the decision to do that,
Right.
you know? So I might just be like opening a can of worms, whatever.
See what you would be expressing and all this shit that would be your ass. You know
It's
what I
not
mean?
whooping
You're
my
getting it out.
ass,
You
but
know, it's causing you,
Mm,
some type of emotional discomfort.
I
You
feel like
know,
you need
it's
some
affecting you in
closure.
some type of way.
it affected my entire life,
So
like
you-
my
See, that's
entire.
what I'm saying. That is major.
Mhm.
Your entire life. That is
Yeah.
major. It's something you
And
don't
it
get off.
affected who
You know?
I am
Yeah.
because I was a very shy child and
Low
young
self-esteem.
adult
With low self-esteem.
with low self-worth, all of that,
Right,
because
right,
I was programmed
right,
to be that way for some reason with the body shaming. I
right.
ain't gonna tell y'all the whole story, but I think y'all gonna have to
Yeah.
go back to some previous episodes because
No,
I
I
did
think
tell
we-
it. I
Maybe
told it.
was it on the first one?
I don't
Very
know if
first
it
or
was the
second
first
one?
one. Might have been the first or
Yeah.
second one. But we were more organic.
Yeah, we was just getting started, y'all. You talking about raw? We was definitely in the raw back then. You know?
Not proud of it. But you know what? It's out there.
Right,
I ain't
right.
shame in that game. I ain't
Yeah, my
shame.
girls got a couple of complaints about me.
Who?
Y'all tell me I cuss too
You
much.
cuss
I
too
was
much,
cussing
yeah,
too
like,
much,
John, you
blah,
cuss a
blah,
lot.
this and that. Hey, man.
So I think I may just do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
have to
think
handle
that,
it.
you know, that we should probably cut this joint to maybe the hour mark. So
Yeah, where are we?
Chantel can start up
Oh.
her, so she can start up her karaoke,
Yeah.
you know, because
So we're hitting an hour, 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's supposed to start it for her at 8 o'clock or something
We're gonna
like
sing
that,
some.
you know. Yeah, she got customers. Maybe somebody want to sing after eating that food. They want to sing about the great food they just had. You know, you never know. But
So they said here in closing thoughts, okay?
mhm, right on time.
There's no perfect parenting style.
Right.
None.
You gotta
Okay.
make adjustments as you go.
Just what works best for the child and family.
Right.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. Like for my 3 kids, I know different parenting styles. My daughter is more like, love and touch. She's a girl,
Right.
talk, and she likes
A little
to,
more softer.
softer. She likes to communicate. She doesn't like me to yell.
Right.
Um,
But if she's already communicating,
And-
there really is no need to yell.
well, no, I mean,
You
like,
know?
listen, you
Does
don't
she hear
understand
what
these
you're saying?
children.
Does she hear what
That's the
you're saying?
problem.
So she hear you, but she ain't listening.
No,
Right,
exactly.
I hear you. I
Exactly.
hear you.
So it's like, well,
I hear you.
if you don't hear me, then I have to yell.
There's a difference, right.
But I hear you,
You know what
Mom.
I'm saying? Just like
Oh,
reading, I
you
always
hear me?
tell
All
people,
right.
you know, it's easy to read, but what are you comprehending? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because yelling is definitely not communicating.
Comprehending is another form of, it's the second part of learning how to read. You gotta learn how to comprehend, you know?
You sound like.
No, I know. I'm telling them something to do.
Everybody's enjoying
Oh my
everything.
gosh.
Man, it smells good.
It smells good.
You smell it like
Ooh.
Thank you.
I hope it's got like mushrooms in it.
something.
I think I need a jerk fish salad.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna come up soon.
Hey, Chantel, we're only gonna do an hour. You wanna come close up with us real quick?
Okay.
Say a little something? Because honestly, hey, Chantel, honestly, I wanna get a hold of what I'm smelling.
What you want to get a hold
It
of?
smells so
smelling what
good.
you cooking back there.
What y'all eating over
I
there?
cooked some whiting. I cooked some mushrooms. I
That
cooked some.
was
Hey, that's what you spell the mushrooms.
mushrooms and onions. Yeah, do you got onions or
Yes,
something
the
somewhere?
onions, yeah.
Yeah.
Grilled some onions with some mushrooms.
Man, it smells
Put a
great.
little
How it
jerky
tastes, brother?
spice on it for 'em.
How
Put
does
it
it
over
taste,
the
sir?
salad.
Money.
Yeah. Hey, Cindy, you'll appreciate the grilled salad right about now.
Oh, that's. I was just
And I
saying
got
it.
mushrooms with it too. Oh yeah,
Do you have catfish?
I do.
I love some catfish.
Right. Yeah, but guys, we're gonna wrap this up. Hopefully Chantel can come join us in this wrap up. She got 2 minutes to make it. If not, she sends her love.
She's gonna come over.
Yeah.
But what I was saying too is the importance of flexibility. Sometimes parents
Okay.
need a mixed style,
Oh, definitely.
right? So all of these things that we discussed here, you need a little bit of everything.
Yeah, but I don't never been a single parent, but I can imagine that it got to be hard for a single parent to come with, you know what I'm saying, with the Wu Tang styles. You know what I'm saying, with different styles. But that's why it's important to have a 2-parent household.
Yeah.
It's important because you got your way. The husband got his way, but if it goes according to plan,
I let him deal
it'll
with
be
the
a perfect,
boys.
right? You know what I mean? And the fact that most girls end up not wanting to disappoint their dads. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that means she's gonna carry herself more respectfully.
Yeah.
And you got to worry about her making no twerking TikTok videos with her half her butt out.
She
You
won't
know
do
what I
that.
mean?
I don't even buy her those
You know what I'm
clothes.
saying?
She's fully clothed.
Right.
And I'd be like, you having a little bit too much, baby. You need the sweatshirt?
Yeah, and it's major importance. Like I one of the things I boast about a lot is that my daughter, I came into her life when she was 12,
Mhm.
but I made such an impact. And she was out on her own, had her own apartment, everything, and she ended up getting pregnant. Her and the man was staying together. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Janice got to me and said, Kamish got something to tell you, but she's scared to tell you. You know what I mean? That was out of respect. You know what I'm saying? And she was worried about what I would feel and think. And I had to tell her, and I had to tell her, sweetheart, you are way ahead of the game. I can't do nothing but respect it. And I appreciate you having that, you know what I mean, having that caution and telling me, you know what I mean? But hey, I'm here for you. I'm gonna support you. Whatever you need, let me know. You know, ain't nothing changed. As long as you're doing the right thing, I got your back.
Yeah.
Point blank, no questions asked. You know,
So that being said, encouragement is what you
got to, you got to.
Encouragement for
Got to.
parents to focus on love,
Yeah,
presence,
yeah,
and intentionally above above labels. Like no labels.
right,
You know,
right.
just love on them.
Yeah.
Because in
Try to
no
encourage
time,
them and discipline them at the same time. You know what I mean? If they're wrong, they're wrong. You gotta let them know.
in no time they're gonna be off to their own lives,
Right.
and you'll be you know, well, I know where I'll be. I told them I'm gonna be cruising. I'm gonna be on everybody cruise, everybody resort.
Right.
I mean, like, yeah,
That's what's up.
something like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm working towards.
That's where it's at. I'm so looking forward to next spring. You know, I know I'll be want to have my bag with me. You know, won't have my pump on my heart. You know, I have a fresh heart. You know, and I'll be able to do a lot of things. Well, it's only limited just water things that I like to do. That I used to like to do. You know, some of the water things that I used to like to do, like swim, get in the hot tub and stuff. I can't do that because I can't submerge. You know, this hole that this cord is coming out of.
Oh.
So yeah, so I'll be love when I can go back and jump off a diving board. You know, I love it. I wasn't one that
You know, I can't swim, right?
but no, we're gonna teach you how to swim. It's never too late to learn. I'll teach you how to swim. You'll be doing backstrokes before.
I'm trying to see how that's gonna work, John.
But you may.
I can float.
If you can float, you can swim. You didn't know that?
Yeah.
All you gotta do is start
I'm a
coordinating
good
your arms and
floater.
legs. Yeah, if you can float, you can swim, dear. Trust me, float that's what that's what you do when you go to teach somebody how to swim. You teach them how to float first. You know, when you can float, you straighten your legs out, straighten your arms out, just get the dick, pull the water to you.
I can backstroke. I can stroke. I can do that.
You do the breaststroke, you know, if you gotta learn doing the breaststroke
I
first.
can do
Even doggy
backstroke.
paddle.
I can,
You know,
I can
yeah.
doggy paddle.
Yeah.
You know what the
Swim,
problem is?
You just ain't ready for the
I'm
Olympics.
not ready for the deep end.
Right.
I panic when.
But you know, the deeper the water, the better you float.
I know, but I always seem to find pools that's not.
That isn't conducive to your style. Huh? Right, I feel you. But yeah, I learned how to swim in Mobile, Alabama as a kid. You know, I remember going to that one pool. Water was cold as hell. But hey, it was hot as hell too outside. So once you down here, the secret to that was not to put a foot in. Just dive in. Dive in. That chill will go through your body when you hit that water. But once you get through it, you can get to it. And yeah. So I remember I learned how to swim, and I wanted to go. With my nieces and nephews, my brother-in-law, they was taking the kids to what was called Lake Dauphine, at the time. And I put up a fit. My mama said, boy, you just learned how to swim. Ain't no way I'm finna let you go out there. And I begged, I cried. I cried. They was gone. I'm still crying an hour or two later, and my mom watching the news, man. The news showed my brother-in-law Charles man one of these speeches out of and after that, I stopped crying. And that was my mama said from that point on. You know what I mean?
They over here they got a whole YouTube channel and everything.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
They told me to come get my phone. You subscribing to us right now.
There you go. Beautiful. Yeah.
See, they got my little sponsorship.
Yeah.
And I got my.
It's just, that's why I say, your mother, your parents, your uncles, your older brothers, they already live with what you're trying to go through. You know what I mean? And if they love you, they're not going to tell you something wrong. You might not like what they're saying, but they're telling you something for your benefit.
Yeah.
Something that's going to help you stay alive. You know what I mean? Because chances are, if I'd have been out there, I'd have been the first one running to beaches. You know what I mean? Trying to say, all I could do is doggy paddle. You know what I mean? So it's been two of us. I know this. I know this. But Bridget is such a sweet little girl. She was, I can still see her face. So that was over 40 years ago. You know, over 45. I wasn't even, I think I was, like I said, we had moved back up north here. So that was like 79. You know what I mean? I was 12 years old, something like that, 11, 12. Yeah. Yeah. And the saddest part about it is that it broke her mom and dad to the core. Even though they had two older boys, losing their baby girl, just so devastated in their whole life. I'm like, wow.
I mean, the Malcolm Jamal Warren went like that too.
Yeah.
That ain't no joke.
Yeah. No,
I do not like to go to
and whatnot,
beaches.
you know.
Like that.
Yeah.
You go to like Gulf,
Right.
you know, but the
And all the
Atlantic
currents and streams and whatnot, especially, I mean, the Gulf of Mexico, that's what Lake Delfin was feeding off of.
Yeah.
Mobile is right there. Mobile is the Gulf of Mexico.
That's right.
You know, so yeah.
The
That's why I learned about the
dolphin.
Gulf
Is
of
that dolphins
Mexico.
over there?
No,
They call it Lake Delfin.
They call it Lake Delfin. I couldn't tell you, I was a kid, but I knew that area, if you went into the town, you know what I mean, went into the actual living areas, it was supposed to be the Klan headquarters. You know what I'm saying? And I can remember a hurricane come through. We was living in Whistler at the time. Hurricane come through, Hurricane Freddy, it destroyed all the homes on the block, most of them. We had a tree come through our window, whatever, you know. My mom was about to take off, come back up right away. But the lady she worked for, she did private nursing, you know what I mean? This old rich lady, she rented us a house up there in that area, you know, right in the middle of Klan territory. But I guess this lady had a pool or whatever because nobody never bothered us with it, you know. And being the youngest, like I say, I got to play for everything, you know. So one day, mom and pops come in. Something happened. I can't quite remember, but I know my sister Jerry put it off on me, and I got a whooping for it. You know, so I called myself running away. I ran up out the house. You know, I get up to the major street, which was only about 3-4 blocks away, and this out of service bus pulls up. You know what I mean? And it was a black driver. He said, "Boy, what you doing out here?" I said, "I live out here." He's like, "Ain't no black folks living out here. Get on this bus before you get murdered." You know? So I'm like, "Where you going?" He said, I'm going back to the depot. I'm like, "That's down there by Monday Street, right?" He was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Because all my sister-in-laws and my cousins stayed off of Monday Street. You know, like I say, my pops taught us how to get around as a small child. If I get around Chicago, I can damn sure get around Mobile, Alabama. You know what I mean? Especially in the 70s.
Did
So,
you watch that show? Did you watch that video I sent you the other day? He cracked it down.
Oh yeah. There's one dude I did the same thing. I did some ski or some crap. He changed his whole self into like a white guy, to like a hillbilly white dude at the NASCAR races, and acting all nasty and whatnot towards black folks. You know, Sadiqa shared the video. And I was like, you know, I know many nasties, you know what I'm saying? You know, my words was fruitful, you know, and but I didn't know that it was dude pulling a prank at the NASCAR races until the next day. And I'm like, well, that just goes to prove my point of what I've been saying for decades. You got these dirty cops putting on this Hollywood style makeup, going into these ghettos and killing these brothers and starting these gang wars. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Of course he looked black because he got on. I mean, this dude, I thought it was a redneck. I thought it was a white dude, and Dicka, you know, because Dicka was like, you know, blah blah blah. I'm like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? This should discuss you is what I'm thinking. You know, I didn't know it was a black dude with a white face. You know, because the makeup was so, you know, what I mean, it was immaculate. Even had his body white, you know. Had the white, you know, white body part, red neck, red arms. You know what I mean? It looked, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you know,
It's like an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
Yeah.
I think we're gonna shut it down. I think Chantal is
She's not able to
super
walk.
busy today.
Right.
Yeah.
Hobnobbing and correlates with a customer, so you know, can't knock her for that. Business is business. You know. But it's nice to finally be back in Studio A, Cindy. We ain't been here since what, June?
Yeah,
You
y'all.
know, it's been a while.
You know, it takes me some effort to come out here.
Right. That's why we
So,
appreciate seeing you.
I
You know,
I did
especially when you flashing that
make
permanent
sure my
smile.
to-do list was low
You know,
today.
cool.
So,
So what you got to say to close this joint out?
well, I gotta say, just since we're talking about parenting, just love on your kids, love on them. They are the future, and if you don't got a plan for yourself for your future, make sure you're nice to them because they might have to be the ones to take care of your ass.
Right.
So
Yeah. And this is a beautiful thing, I can imagine, because I watched two of my most closest dear friends lose their mom while I was in Chicago. You know what I mean? Well, they both did. My one buddy, his mom passed the Monday after I left, and my other friend, her mom passed the Monday after that. You know, but they both was real ill, that I was glad I got to at least visit them for a while. You know, Mrs. Robinson was just such a beautiful, sweet lady. You know what I mean? This lady, you know, she babysitted her daughter's friends and ended up babysitting her daughter's friends' kids and so on. You know, she babysitted generations. You know what I mean? She kept generations of children, and they like, man, all of the kids came back, you know, to show their respect. And it's a beautiful day. But her daughters, man, them girls did such a great job taking care of their mama, man. I was so proud of them. Love you, Robinson girls. You know, you girls are something else, man. Be proud of yourselves. My man, Bobby, you know how it is, brother. Peace and love, man. Y'all be good to each other. And like I said, hopefully, I mean, y'all can Google these parenting styles we covered. You know, if you missed the show, you know, or watching it later, we appreciate it all, you know. Be cool.
until next time.
Yes, indeed.